Hello everyone, myself Haji Sadashiv Motekar. I am assistant professor at Shahan Anchor Kutch Engineering College, and my today's topic is security issues with IoT devices. So this is the roadmap for today's topic, like basic terms related to IoT, then industry revolution, then home automation using the different type of boards, then security in IoT devices, then security issues, then security issues related to the IoT devices, then patch updation problem, secret life of the smart security camera and other connected devices, then security issues faced by the industry, end-to-end security, authentication, and training. So these are the contents that will be covered today in this topic and this PPT. So let us begin with the basic terms related to the IoT. So very first is IoT, then IIoT, then IoE. So IoT stands for the Internet of Things. It is a system of interconnected devices which are most commonly used for consumer uses, like a smart wristband. Next is industrial IoT, that is used for industrial purpose such as manufacturing, supply chain monitoring, and management system. Next is IoE. It's an intelligent network of people's process, data, and things. So let us move to the next, that is industry revolution. So the current trend is industry 4.0, that is also known as IIoT. So we will have a look of industry revolutions like 1.0, 2.0, 3.0, and 4.0. So, where first industry revolution was started in 1784, that is mechanical, that is based on mechanical tools and steam power. Okay. The next was 1870. Next was started in 1870. That is based on the mass production, electrical energy, and assembly lines. Then next was started in 1969. That is Industry 3.0, and it was based on automation, computers, and electronics. Okay. Now the current trend, that is IoT 4.0, or sorry, Industry 4.0, which is based on the cyber physical systems, IoT, and cloud-based systems. Okay. So this is the current trend, and this is known as the Industry 4.0. So after this, we will be having a look of Internet of Things. So suppose we are using temperature sensor, so it will send the data, it will send the temperature in the room, and that data it will send. So suppose I am using a wireless router, so using that router, it is sending the data to the cloud using network. Okay. So the data is going towards the cloud. In cloud, the data will be stored and analyzed. Okay. So after analysis, the data will be used for the application. So this is a small example of the Internet of Things. Okay. IoT. IoT is what? We'll have an example. See, here some people are observing an elephant. So someone is saying that it's a fan. He's saying that it's a wall. He's saying it's a rope. He's saying it's a tree, and he's saying that it's a snake, and he's saying that these are spears. Okay. So what is happening? Elephant is single thing, but as it's a huge thing, so different people's observing it in a different way. Okay. So they are giving their observation different. So just like that only, IoT is having everything from sensing, storing, computations, analysis of data, and application program. So all these things are included here in the IoT. Okay, so next is home automation using the different kind of boards. So we can see here we can use any of the controller board like a Raspberry Pi we can use a Arduino board, Arduino Uno, or you can use a Node MCU as a controller for making our home automation. And with that we can use the different kind of sensors like here in this picture I have used a motion sensor. Okay, that is also known as PIR sensor. So this kind of phenomena we can use to make a smart home. So that we will see using the Cisco packet tracer. At the end of this PPT we will have a look of Cisco packet tracer. Now next is security in IoT devices. So the first thing we should know that security required at three main places. Means when the data is sensed by the sensing devices or at endpoints, then the data where data is traveling through the network, so network security, and when the data will be stored at cloud, so we will require the cloud security management. Okay, so that these are the three places where the security is required: security at endpoint, security at network, and security at cloud. So these are the three important points where the security is required, and we should maintain that. Right. So let us see the security issues. What kind of security issues can be there with IoT devices? So first is authentication, data storage, communication, and code execution. So what is that? So first is authentication. Authentication means how to ensure that the authorized devices are only connected to my network. It means suppose I am having a Wi-Fi network and many devices from my area are connected with that network. So if it is like that, so it will not be a secure network. So that's why I need to assign the rules for the peoples or the devices that will be accessing my network, like who can access the network, who can access the IoT devices, and who can access the cloud data of the IoT devices. So that is the authentication. Next is data storage. So how to ensure that the critical assets in the IoT devices or the devices are not compromised. It means, as we know that the IoT devices are not having the capacity to store the data, means having very low capacity. So in that case, what we'll do, we used to store our data on cloud. Okay, but is it trustable? Means as we are using the cloud of third party, we are not making cloud. So is it trustable? So that's a big question. So what if the cloud side data will be compromised? So for that, whenever we are storing the data on the cloud side, we should think about the protection of the data. Next is communication. So communication means how to protect, how do I protect my communication from the intrusions or the spying devices? Okay, what is the meaning of that? So when we talk about the IoT devices, the data is sensed by the sensor, and that data after sensing will be travel through the network. Okay, that's the communication actually. So in that case, the data will be traveled from a device to gateway or gateway to cloud, and a cloud to again mobile application. So the communication is happening here. Okay, so in that case, to make the data communication more secure, we should use some encryption decryption algorithms or any other technique like authentication or digital signature, so that the data can be secure during the communication. Next is code execution. So code execution means how do I make sure that devices are working properly. So whenever we talk about the code execution, so code execution should be perfect. Code execution means what? Suppose I have given some instruction like when I'll enter to room, so AC should be on. Okay, like suppose that is the instruction. But what if the temperature is already too much low, like a winter season, and I'm entering to the room and AC is on. Okay, so what is that? That's a issue actually. Means what should happen? The temperature of the room should be sensed by the sensor, and then only it should instruct the AC to whether to start or not. Okay, but if it is not happening, so that is a code execution issue. Okay, so these are the different issues associated with the IoT. Okay. So next is issues in the IoT security devices. IoT security devices means the GPS trackers or the surveillance camera, etc. So we can have an example of GPS tracker. Suppose we are using GPS tracker for our children's or the pets or the family members, like elder people in the family members. But when we purchase this GPS tracker or such devices, so these devices came with a default user ID and password. So what if this default user ID and password you are not changing, and that is hacked by a hacker? So he can easily get the location of your relatives, and he can also kidnap them. Okay, so this is a very serious issue with the GPS tracker like of devices. Next, like similarly, the devices like distributed industrial sensors or surveillance camera, the wearable medical devices, the cloud connected data logger. These are the devices where the security implementation or robust security implementation is most difficult. Okay, so when we are using this kind of devices, so we should keep means we should understand that we have to use a proper password, or we try to avoid to share the password with other device people. Okay, so these are the issues associated with the security devices. Then the issue of the patch updation means patch updation problem. So what is patch updation problem? So very first thing we should understand. So suppose we are having an Android phone and we are installing an app. So once you will install app, so after some days or after some time, you will get an update of that application to install. Okay, so you have to install that update. Okay, so what is the use of that update? That updates are used to prepare the security enhancement to that application. Similarly, when we purchase a IoT device, so IoT device comes with some firmwares. Okay, we can have an example of a baby monitoring system or device for smart bell like smart bell. Okay, so these kind of devices having the firmwares. Okay, so these firmwares need to be updated time to time. Okay, so whatever company is building this kind of devices will provide you the firmware. So when the firmware is you are updating the firmware is means proper firmware means that is not compromised. That should be very important. Okay, means these firmwares we are using for enhancing the security in IoT devices. But what if there is an issue? If you like, if a hacker is hacked that firmware, he modify that firmware and then that update you will receive. Okay, so this will be a very big issue, and this is even an issue for the industry also. Okay, industry also facing the same issue. So this is called the bad patch updation problem. Next is secret life of smart security cameras and other connected devices. So when we used to install any security camera or any such devices in our network, so we used to use our home network like wired network or wireless network. So what if we are using a very poor network, poor password to our Wi-Fi network? So it will be very easy. A hacker can easily hack your password. After that, he can get into your network and get the details of the devices you are using. Okay, once he will get the details of the security camera, so it will be easy for him to hack that camera easily. Okay, so these type of issues are associated with the connected devices or the security devices connected in our home network. So for that we need to use our proper password. Okay, so when we talk about these devices like security devices, so each and every device might have a small but exploitable vulnerability. So that vulnerability is we should know what are the vulnerabilities associated with what devices. So whenever you are going to purchase a IoT device, so in that case, when you are going for purchasing, so you should check some. You should find the vulnerabilities associated with that devices, and for that you can go through these websites like very first is metasploit.com or the second is exploit db.com. So these are the sites where you can find the vulnerabilities associated with the different IoT devices. Okay, so next is security issues faced by the industry. So one of the issue I have mentioned earlier, that is patch updation problem. The second one is the issue about the configuration of the IoT devices. As we know that each component of the IoT device we can procure from the different suppliers. So that can be and that can be work on the different protocols as we know. Okay, so it can be raise an issue for the industry in the terms of security. Okay, now next is the end-to-end security.
End-to-end security means securing the data at the point where it is being sensed by the sensors and up to the point where it will be used by the application program. So it shows the whole process in which the data is sensed by the sensors in the beginning, and after that its data will be traveled from the network towards the cloud, and in the cloud when the data will be stored and analyzed. After that the data will be used by the application program. So whole this process will be secured is known as the end-to-end security.
So IoT security is very complex and multifaceted. It requires an end-to-end approach to secure the complete system, including the devices, infrastructure, cloud, all the links that connect them, uh, all the hardwares and softwares and firmwares also. Okay. So when we talk about the network security, so we can use the different techniques. First one is the hardware and software security. Next is end-to-end encryption. Then physical unclonable function and multi-factor tokenization. So let's see one by one all of them. So very first is hardware and software security. So hardware security is vulnerability protection that comes into in the form of physical devices rather than the software that are installed on the hardware. Uh, the hardware security can pertain to a device used to scan a system or monitor the network traffic. The common examples are including a hardware, firmware, or proxy servers. Next is end-to-end encryption. So end-to-end encryption is a method of securing the communication that prevents the third party from accessing the data while it's transferred from one end system to the another device. Okay. Next is physical unclonable function. So physical unclonable function, also known as PUFs. So PUFs generally are used for authentication and secure communication. Since the PUFs based authentication does not require classical cryptographic assets, it fits properly into the resource demand of the IoT devices. Okay. So PUF authentication protocol have two phases. One is enrollment phase and second one is authentication phase. Next is multi-factor tokenization. So multi-factor tokenization are the security tokens that use more than one category of the credentials to confirm the user authentication. We can have an example like we can use the user ID password as a first credential. We can also use the one-time password for confirmation of the authorized person using their mobile or emails, etc. Okay, so this type of different means multiple tokenization technique is known as multi-factor tokenization. Okay.
So multi-factor tokenization can be used to check the authentication of the user who is trying to access the data or the device, and it provides the extra security to the device which is being used.
So let's move to the next, that is authentication. So to achieve the authentication, we can use different protocols. Authentication we have earlier seen in previous slides. Now, what are the techniques we can use to achieve the authentication that we can see one by one. So very first is asymmetric key cryptography. We can use asymmetric key algorithms like we can use ECDSE, that is also known as elliptical curve digital signature algorithm, or we can also use the RSA algorithm. These two are most widely used asymmetric algorithms. However, both of these algorithms are significantly working on different techniques. Actually, their functioning is totally different from each other. Okay, so we can use one of them. The next is protocols we can use. Like protocols are the IP security, TLS, or SSL, or DTLSL. So these are the different protocols we can use. So let's see one by one. So if we first is IP security, that is IP Internet Protocol Security. That is an important and widely used security protocol. Okay, it provides the end-to-end security for the communication while data is transferring. Okay, so IPv security used to provide the data authentication security and service to the IoT applications. Okay, so this is IP security. Then next is TLS or SSL. Okay, so when the IoT device is connected to the network for authentication, one of the secure communication protocol like secure socket layer or transport layer security like SSL or TLS, we have to use. Okay, so many network uses the SSL. That is an older protocol that maybe that many web applications are still using it. Okay, and many of the other networks use TLS. Okay, next is DTLS. So DTLS is datagram transport layer security protocol that allows the datagram based applications to communicate. Okay, in a way that the design to prevent eavesdropping, tampering, message forging, this type of attacks. Okay, so DTLS protocol is based on the stream oriented transport layer security. Okay, so stream oriented means the data sending in the form of packets. Okay, so the protocol, this protocol is intended to prevent the similar security guarantees. Okay, so this was DTLS.
We should try to keep the public key also secured when we are using the public key algorithm, because sometimes the public key combines some information to identify the devices such as the unique identifier or the address or the domain name. So this kind of information should be hidden. So to keep the public key secret, we can use the different algorithms. We can use digital certificate also to provide the authentication to the public key, so that the public key will be secured and whole communication will be secured.
Okay, next is problem in terms of connectivity, security, and analysis. So as we know, India is a country where most of the people are living in a rural area. So and they are facing the issue of connectivity. Means even we used to face the connectivity of in the terms of calling also. So in that kind of areas, the connectivity issue and reliable connection issue is very big. Okay, so this is one of the bigger issue in India. Also, IoT products are not that secure as we have learned earlier in the previous time. Then lack of the data science specialist, it is also one of the big issue. We don't have the that much specialist, data science specialist. Then IoT products are vulnerable to attacks. So this is another issue. Then people who never update their firmware, so they even calling the attacks on their own systems. Okay, why? Because they are not updating the firmwares and they are avoiding the security updates. Okay, so this is one of the issue with the devices.
Okay. So next is EBase. So EBase model for IoT projects we can use. EBase is not a single technology; it's a combination of four different technologies that help us to make a IoT project. After using the EBase in a IoT project, the project will be very much powerful rather than the other projects. So we can understand what is EBase. So very first is in the EBase, I shows the Internet of Things, then B shows the blockchain technology, A shows artificial intelligence, and C shows cyber security. Okay, so these are the things which we can use in our IoT project, and we can make our IoT project better with respect to the other projects. So if you are a student and you are thinking about to make a project using IoT technology, and you want to make a secure project, so this EBS model you definitely should use, and this will really help you to make your project successful. Okay, let us begin with the Cisco Packet Tracer, and we'll see here how to create a, home automation using wireless connections and wired connections. For wireless connection, first we will require the router so that we can connect the components.
We will take a Wi-Fi router, that is a home gateway, that is also called home gateway. So we are taking that first. Then we will take means to make a home smart home, so we will require some components like smart fan or smart window or smart AC. So we will take some components like smart fan. So we'll go to the home components like and we can select here. You can see here multiple components are given, so we can select. So I'm selecting smart fan, and very first I'll rename it. So I'm going to the, I'll, after double clicking it, it will give me the properties. Here I can change the name. So display name, if I can use it is ceiling fan. Okay. I'm using it as ceiling fan. Then I'm closing it. Now I'll take another like the smart door or smart window. Sorry, I'm taking smart window. So this is window IoT IoE 2. So I'm renaming it. Okay. So it is IoE 1 or IoE 2. These are the components which we are selecting. So this is window. Now we will make it as a living room. So I'm making a label here. So just making it as a living room. Now let us begin. So very first we need to set connection in between the devices. So very first I will double click on the fan and I'll check the advanced. I'll go to the advanced and here I will check IO config. Okay, and I'll in network adapter setting. I'll go to the network adapter setting. I'll select the Wi-Fi setting, that is PT dash IOE dash NM dot 1W. So this is for wireless connection. I close it. Similarly, so you can see it is connected with our home adapter, home gateway. Then I will same thing I'll do with the Windows. So I'll go to the advanced and I will config and change the network adapter settings. Okay, after this, to control all these devices, we will be required a smartphone. So I am taking a smartphone also. So let's again. So I'm taking a smartphone. It is a smart device. I'm renaming it. It as it is also. So once I double click, so you can see here. So I'm going to the wireless zero. Here I'll rename the SSID. SSID is what our home gateway name. So I'll check the home gateway name in the configuration. It is wireless home gateway. That home gateway I'll copy here from here. See, it should be same. So that's why it is better to copy, and I'll paste it in the smartphone settings. SSID. So I have copied that. Now you can check. It is also connected to our home gateway. Now next is I'll check the means I'll go to the IOE monitor and I'll check what first we need to set the user ID and password. So I can this IP address should be same as the given in home gateway. So you can check it also. Go to the LAN and check this IP address is same. 192.168.25.1. Okay, so now you can see here there is no device. Why? Because we have not set make the settings in the devices. You know, to make the setting like home gateway, home network. We need to make it into the configuration. So we'll go to the configuration part, and here we will select the home gateway. So home gateway means it will connect it to the home network. Okay. Now this same setting I'll do in the window also. So in window also I'll go to the config and make it home gateway. Now close it. Now go to the smartphone again. Now you can see here one ceiling fan is given. Now once again we'll go to the IOE monitor and we'll check. So you can see here both the devices are given. Now click on one, that is ceiling fan, and check what operation we can do. So we can on off the fan, we can change the speed also low to high. Okay. Once I click on low, you can see here the speed it is shown in the figure. Once I click on the high, it will be shown by the double line. Okay. So this is, and I can off the fan as well. Window also I can open and close. So red for close, green for open. This is a button given here. This we can use using smartphone. So these operations I am using the smartphone. I'll just went to the IOE monitor, and there I can do this operation. Now this is the configuration of the wireless living room, where all the IoT components we are accessing. IoT components we are accessing using a smartphone. Okay.
Now next is the home automation using the wired connection. Okay, so we'll see how to create a home automation using wire connection, and for that we will require some components like for home automation. So we'll be taking suppose motion detector and one of the spy camera. So we are using these two components that once the motion detector will be active, so spy camera will take the pictures. Okay, so this is a webcam and motion detector we are using, and to connect them with the wired connection we will be required a switch. So we will take a switch also. Okay, now these two things are done. Now with that we will require a server that will help us to manage all these things. So we will be required a web server. We can call it as a register server, registration server. So we will be taking a server. Okay, if it was a wireless connection, so we will be required a wireless switch, but it is a wired connection. So we are not taking any home gateway or like that any device. We are using just server. Uh, Now let us begin with the connection. So for that we need to take the wired connection. So we are taking wired connection. We are taking a fast Ethernet for connecting connection between server to switch. Now similar for the server to motion detector, and similar for the server to webcam. Okay. Now we will, to identify devices, we will assign the IP address to each of them. So let's just start assigning the IP address. So for first one, 1.1.1.1 for the server. Similar for the webcam. So we'll be assigned that yeah, 1.1.1.2, and for motion detector, I'll taking 1.1.1.3. Okay, so these are the IP addresses I assigned. Now I will make the configuration. Okay, so go to the configuration and set the IP address. Okay, so IP address is 1.1.1.1 for server. Similarly for webcam, go to config and fast Ethernet, and set the IP address. So IP address is 1.1.1.2, and the subnet path will be auto generated. Then similar for the motion detector, go to config, then fast Ethernet, and set the IP address 1.3. Okay, after this, so we have assigned the IP addresses. Now we will make some configuration of the server, like it's a registration server. So we need to make a registration. We need to create a registration page. So for that, I am going to the services. In that, we'll take the IOE. So here we will switch on the registration server. So once you on the registration server, our server is created, and IP address of the server is what, 1.1.1.1. So we can check it using our web browser. Check here. So you can see here the registration page is open, but I have not sign it on, means अभी तक sign up नहीं किया है, so we need to sign up. So I'm giving the name is admin and password is Cisco. Now you can check our page is ready. Now you can go to the server, and sorry, before that we need to make the changes in the
means we need to connect all these devices to your to home network. So for that we have to connect the that is remote server. Our server is remote server, and IP address of the remote server is given, and username and password that I'll assign. Okay, now connect. So first the components is connected. Now I'll connect the motion detector using same steps. Connect to the remote server, then IP address will be same, and user ID and password of the server that I'll assign, and then connect. Okay, after this we can check in the server that whether the components are connected or not. So go to the web browser, write the user ID, password, admin and system. So you can see here two components are connected, IOE1 and IOE0. As I have not renamed this component yet, so so now these components are connected only, but the action of this components is not at connected. Means motion detector, and if I'm means moving through the motion detector, so camera is not working. So this is means this is why, because we have not yet planned the action of these devices. So for that we will set some conditions. We can go to the conditions and we can set. So once you will set the condition and move through the motion detector, so it will detect the action and it will switch on the camera like this. Okay, so for that we need to change the conditions. So here we need to write some conditions like instructions we have to give. So we'll first go to the add and select the name of the component. Sorry, name of the component webcam came on. Okay, oh, sorry, I have not yet renamed the component, so I'll rename the component one. Sorry, first this is motion detector, and this is webcam. Okay, after renaming the components, you can check the names are changed here also. So webcam and motion detector. Okay, so for once if motion detector is on is true, then we can set a condition, then the webcam will be on is true. Okay, so this is a condition. So once you set the condition, okay, I'm assigning the condition for switch off also. I have webcam off. Okay, so when will be the webcam off? So very first motion detector is on is false. Then if motion detector on is false, then webcam on is also false. Okay, so this condition I am saving. So you can check these two conditions I have set here, one for the webcam on, one for the webcam off. Means when you are there is a motion around the motion detector, so webcam will be on. If the motion is not there, so if any movement is not there, then webcam will be automatically off. Okay, so let us check it again. I'm okay, let me check set it properly so that we can check both the actions. See here you can see when I'm moving through the motion detectors, you can check here in the window the action is happening. Okay, you can see someone is, as it is not a original webcam, it's a simulator. So here it is showing us that some movement is there, and it is capturing the movement. So webcam is capturing the movement. Okay, understood. So this was the home automation using the wired technology.
Thanks for watching the video. Please do like the video and subscribe the channel. Thank you so much.